like you lost another one.
Hello, Keyshawn. Sorry. Hello, Keyshawn Uchiha here. This is back at you with another alternate universe what if. And this is going to be a dark alternate universe what if. But suddenly you could say 18 hentai alternate universe. You could say. This is going to be a hentai. No, it's not going to be a dark universe. This is going to be a hentai alternate universe, you could say. And this is going to be what if Deku was the king of the galaxy. You could say king of the world or galaxy, you want to name it, but he's going to be king of the galaxy. Now, this is you could say, a new what if I wanted to do, and I wanted to make this as a hentai one, because I know I made a couple of hentais and did a little detail of this and that and had babies and stuff, but this is going to be solely pure of hentai. Now, I'm really spoiling y'all guys this time. This is going to be for the 100 likes, alright? And this is going to be for y'all guys, alright? If y'all can get this video up to 100 likes, I will do another one automatically. If the next couple of hours or so, if y'all get this up to 100 likes, I will do another part to this. Now, this is pretty much a hentai only. An 18 hentai only. If you're a kid, you gotta get out. You gotta get out the kitchen now. This is gonna be detailed. This is gonna be all the way into detail. I'm not gonna be any other YouTuber who's gonna sugarcoat it, baby it for you, and say other fancy words. No, we're getting down and dirty. We're getting nicked to the cranny. We're getting open up the jar and smell something that's so good that you should not smell it. All right. And this is for you, the horn dogs, the boys, and girls, if y'all like this too. But this is the hentai, okay? Don't tell no one though, alright? This is the 18 only hentai, okay? But let's continue. So how Deku become the king of the galaxy? Well, pretty much we're gonna say the gods, and this begins with Kishan Chia, you could say, and he's the galaxy, you could say, god, but not the galaxy king, because the last Galaxy King, pretty much fought in the war and died. Now, Kishan Chi is pretty much sitting outside with the rest of the gods, and he's pretty much talking to him, saying, and the love god is she's pretty much, or you could know, she's pretty much saying, well, who's gonna be the next Galaxy King? Which the god of you could say, revolution, war, peace, war, pain, all that. He's saying, yeah, we've been waiting for you to answer, Keyshawn. Which Keyshawn is pretty much smiling, saying, well, I found one, but I don't think y'all would like it. Which, this is pretty much they're talking about Deku, but this is a different universe. You could say an untouched universe. Now it's about to be touched. Now, this universe is with Deku, but Deku has, you could say, siblings. Now, these are all the pretty much Dekus, but we're talking about the Deku in the middle. He has a little brother that's called, you could say, Deku Junior. You got female Deku, which they call her Deku-chan or Deku-chan. You got pretty much adult Deku, or you could say a little bit older Deku, which they call him Izuku. And then you got the Deku covered with one eye. They call him Izuku. Well, no, yeah, Izuku, because you got Midoriya. Pretty much they call him Midoriya. And then the last one is a child who wants to become a villain and own a business, his own crime business. And he pretty much named himself you could say DK, or you could say Dark Deku, but his short name is DK. Now, these Dekus live together with their mom Inko, an independent mother, and the older Deku is pretty much in the class, but not in class 1A, but in a, you could say, the first year class. Which, yeah. Now this Mizuku, or you could say Deku, is with his family talking, laughing and stuff, and he's still in, you could say, middle school, not in the UA high yet, and talking about like he's going to get in there, if he doesn't have a quirk and stuff. Just where DK pretty much saying, "Oh please, brother, you don't have a quirk. You're not going to make it." Which this is where or or Sean or Deku Iki Sean or you could say girl Deku, female Deku, or you could say girl Deku. That's her name because they or G Deku. That's her name because Inko was pretty lazy at the time. So G Deku. She's pretty much saying, "Don't say that to our brother. Like, he might have a quirk, but he still have faith." Which DK is saying, "Or whatever, if you say so." Now DK, he cares for his family, like dearly, but he doesn't show the emotion. But he's trying to figure out how to pretty much have to create a quirk for Deku to have, and plus you could say all for one is their. You could say all for one is the father, but only one has the all for one quirk, and that's DK Deku. Now, all the other ones is pretty much is talking to Deku, saying, "Don't listen to him," which Midoriya is pretty much saying, "Yeah, don't listen to him, brother." And little Deku Jr. saying, "Yeah, brother." And of course, older Deku in first class, I mean the first year in My Hero in the UA High, pretty much saying, "Yeah, brother, I have faith you'll be in there." But he's saying, "Yeah." Now, of course, DK is left the room and talking to pretty much you could say his father, their father, and he's saying, "Yes, father," and he's saying, "How's how's my children holding up? How's you holding up, son?" And he's saying, "I'm holding up good, father." Which says, "That's good. Come to, come to me later. We need to talk." Which DK says, "Yes, father." I pretty much hangs up the phone. Now this is where we switch to the gods, and Kishan and Sheen's people are talking and saying, "I'm going to choose this boy, Deku, right here in this universe." Now, the gods are saying, "And we're not supposed to interfere or make someone something that's not worthy," which, like, Deku pretty much says, well, no, which Kishan, Uchiha says, "Well, to be honest with you, I really don't care what you think because I'm stronger than all of y'all, and I can easily wipe y'all and reset this whole universe and this whole galaxy if I want to. Do y'all want that to happen?" Which the gods are all quiet and saying, "No, we're sorry, sir." Which Kishan says, "No, it's okay. But I'm going to make him the new galaxy god. Does anyone want to intervene?" Which this is where the love goddess, or you could say God, pretty much says, "Uh, I like to intervene. I want him. I want him to make all the children, since all the children he can make, since he's going to be the galaxy king, and I don't want him to die by something stupid, and we lose him. I want his children to become the next one." Which Kishan says, "All right, if you say so." Now, Kishan, she pretty much lands down by Deku while he's outside on the beach, pretty much training and pretty much tired. And Kishan sits beside him and says, "Hey, I'm Kishan." This is where Deku says, "Who are you?" "Well, pretty much, I'm multiple things. I'm a guy who pretty much look at all your universes of you with multiple abilities, multiple things, and what you do and stuff, and see how you go, and us gods watch as our entertainment and see what y'all do. But this is quite different now. We want you to be the next Galaxy King." Which Deku is quite confused and saying, "What is a Galaxy King?" Which pretty much Kishan explains. Well, pretty much a Galaxy King is a king who pretty much owns the world and multiple planets, who is the king of multiple planets and the world. He gets what he wants. He has what he wants. He can kill the whole world if he wanted to, but he can't kill his god. But he can't kill a god, no matter the cost. So, don't try. But he can do anything he wants. I can become a hero. Yeah, but on one condition: you have to have sex with multiple women to pretty much make your bloodline strong. You can marry them and marry all the women you have sex with, but you must have children, no matter the cost. Which Deku says, okay. And this Deku is not a kid or anything. Like, he might be middle school, but in this alternate universe, like, in middle school you're a teenager. Like, you're like, the consent age to have sex and to make children and stuff. So Deku and his sisters and all of them is pretty much is at the consent age to have sex whenever they want. And UA High is more like for the adults, teenagers, to go there. It's kind of like a university, you could say, as a college university, to go there and, you know, you can do whatever you want: sex, drugs, booze, whatever. Now, pretty much Deku accepts his terms as saying, so, like, what abilities do I have and stuff? He says, well, you have a lot of abilities. I will put them in your head. Pretty much tapping Deku and giving him all the information. He says, what? And his nose bleed a little. He says, sorry about that. Gave you a little bit too much, but you already know what to do. But remember, if you don't follow those terms, Deku, you will lose your ability of becoming the Galaxy King, and I will trip your reputation. You'll be powerless. Which Deku says, okay, thank you. This is where he's about to go before, but Deku says, wait, uh, will that mean, uh, it might be hard for me to get people pregnant and stuff, which Keisha laugh hard and says, oh, trust me, the goddess of love, the goddess of love and sex and all that, and desires and lust, yeah, she already hooked you up, so you can either talk to her, you can just say hi to a girl, or you just kiss her and she'll fall for you and want to have sex with you. But see ya. And pretty much Keyshawn heads back up to the seats. And he sits down, pretty much saying, alright, let's see how he goes. Now, this is where Deku says, I don't even think this is real, but I guess I try. Now, the next day, this is not the start of the anime. Deku pretty much is getting up, and he's pretty much stretching and saying, okay, it's time to go. Now, this is where you could say G Deku, pretty much the girl Deku, his sister, pretty much saying, alright brother, I'm gonna go out and go hang out with Bakugo, which she has a thing for Bakugo. And this is where Deku says, okay, okay, I'll see you later then. And this Deku is friend. Now the Dekus are friends with Bakugo, including the older one. But Bakugo bullies, you could say Deku, but he's in love with Deku's sister. Now she goes and sees Bakugo, and she runs in and kisses Bakugo on the lips. Says, "Are you ready?" Which he says, "Yeah," and they head off. Now this Bakugo in this alternate universe is not a dick. He's only 10% of a dick, but anything else, he's a kind-hearted person and he cares dearly for the safety of his girlfriend. Now, pretty much, Deku is going out, and this is where he says, I want to see if this power is actually true and if this can work. Now, he's looking for a girl, and this is where he finds the hero, Murkout? The rabbit girl. The rabbit girl. You could say the rabbit girl in her court. I said her, I was trying to say her name right, like Mako, or Miko, I think so. But pretty much this is where Deku sees her. Now, Deku is pretty much saying maybe she could be my first target and see if it works. Now he's going to her and pretty much is saying hey to her, because she's done doing saving the day stuff. And she looks at him and she just is like, you could say, starts getting wet automatically, you know. And she sees him and says, hi, like, have you seen me to ask for my autograph and stuff? Which Deku says, yeah, and also more. Which, she starts to get wet even more by his words because, like I said, the gods hook him up with many features, and he's ripping hot, so he's pretty much just talking to her and stuff. He's wearing the cool stuff, and he has a crown on his head, like he has a galaxy crown, so his crown is like a galaxy, which she's pretty much saying, pretty much blushing and stuff. And Deku says, "How about we go some other place and we can talk?" Which she says, "Yeah." Now, I'm going into detail because, like I said, this is going to be a detailed what if, hentai. I said I promise y'all, I'm going down to the cranny. So Deku pretty much heads into a. They pretty much head to her building, which no one haven't noticed them, and you could say she hops on top of Deku automatically, and she pretty much you could say rips his shirt off and pulls out his bed and pulls out his pants and you could say sucks his penis. Now, I'm going down to detail and you could say she's getting out. She's doing the sloppy toppy 3000. No pun intended. And Deku pretty much nuts on her face. Now, Deku is not tired because, like I said, God just gave him many features. And she pretty much hop on top of him and you could say she puts his penis in her vagina and says, "Are you ready for round two?" Which Deku says, "Yeah," and she rides him like you could say, like a bull. Now, Deku nuts in her vagina, pretty much putting the seeds in there, and they both lay down together. Now, Deku gets up and gets dressed and says, "I'm about to go," and she pulls him in and kisses him and says, "See you later." Now, Deku heads out the building, pretty much about to head to his house, saying, "Ah, well that's great. That's one, but I'm gonna have to keep doing it until pretty much Deku sees his sister. And his sister says, "Oh hey Deku, what are you doing here?" And Bakugo says, "Yeah nerd, what you doing here?" Which Deku's sister hits him in the gut. Now, pretty much you could say Deku was saying, "Oh no, I'm just here. I was trying to see a cat here, and pretty much I'm still looking for it." Which they say, "Oh, we can help you look for it." Which pretty much you could say Deku says, "Yeah, we look for it." What? No, Bakugo pretty much says, "Yeah, we look for it." Which Deku says it's not necessary. This is where you could say up in the galaxy or in the you could say in the sky in the stars and pretty much sitting down. And Keisha's saying, "You know what? Let me help him a little bit," and pretty much interfering and sends the cat down. Now the cat pretty much comes in and says, "Meow," and Deku says, "Ah, yeah, there it is," and pretty much picks it up. Now Bakugo is saying, "Ah, so this is the cat you was talking about." And Bakugo asks the question, "What's with the crown on your head?" And he says, "Oh, well, I kind of think I'm like the Galaxy King, the king of everything." Which Bakugo says, "Yeah, right, nerd." And which, Deku's sister says, "Okay." She just laughs and says, "Yeah, I think you like that too." And that pretty much goes off on their own way. Now Deku is pretty much getting going, and he's pretty much carrying the cat, well, the kitty, and saying, "All right, let's go." And he heads home. Now, as he, oh, as he going in the house, well, before he's going in the house, yeah, this is where Bakugo's mom asks for Deku's help, and Deku says okay, and goes help her, but he likes the kitty in the house first, and little Deku pretty much is, sees the cat and starts to play with it, or you could say the kitty. Now, as pretty much you could say Deku is in Baku's house helping Baku's mom. She's pretty much is talking to him and saying that Ink will raise you well and you look so strong and stuff. Giving him confidence. You could say flirty. Now this is what Deku is pretty much thinking about, like what Bakugo did to him when he didn't have a quirk and stuff. Hey, he a little bit grunts his teeth and says, you know what, this is gonna be payback. And he looks at pretty much Bakugo's mom and you could say grabs her ass and says, "Do you want to do something else after this?" And she blushes and says, "But you're 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 my best friend's son." Which Deku says, "Hey, I'm old enough to handle my own self, and plus, I take full responsibility if anything happens." This is where she blushes even harder and says, "Okay." And you could say they had you could say had sex. Now I'm going in detail because, like I said, get this up to 100 likes, and I promise you I'll do another part 2 automatically. Now, Deku is pretty much you could say, following her big titties and sucking on the nipples, biting on them, and she's moaning and getting you wetter because, like I said, his perks and sensations to make it feel better, and Deku is penetrating her, doing her, and he nuts, you could say, in the vagina, and pretty much put his seeds in there, making her overflow. Now, he bends her over around and starts to do the butt and penetrates the butt. Now, she's enjoying it extra, her eyes rolling up and her tongue is sticking out. And this is where he nuts in the butt and pretty much, you know, does it again. You could say a third time and do the same thing, but this time 10 times harder. Now, Deku pretty much covers her up and kisses her on the head, says goodnight, and pretty much walks out the house. Which this is where Baku is asking, "Why was you in my house, nerd?" Which Deku says, "Oh, nothing. I was just pretty much, you could say." He could say, "I was pretty much helping your mom out with getting stuff done," which he says, "Oh, okay. I'll see you later, nerd." And he walks in the house, closes the door in anger because I'm about to tell you what's about to happen. Pretty much, Deku walks in the house and his sister is crying. And he asks if what's happening. She pretty much says that Bakugo broke up with her. Well, Bakugo, he broke up with her. And Deku's saying, "It's okay, everything's gonna be alright." Smiling in his head, saying, thank God I slept with his mom. He's definitely gonna fucking kill me after this. But I can kick his ass. Now, we're getting to the start now. Deku pretty much is going into the you could say going into the school with his brother and sister, and they're pretty much sitting down, like they have a third row seat. You could say no, we're gonna say their school is pretty much big, and they have a round table, which all students sit together and do work together and stuff, and well a three-seater, which there's like table desks where they have merged together, kind of like a L, and Deku and his sister and his brother pretty much sits together. Now, Mizuku and we're gonna say DK Dark Deku. Pretty much um he goes to school, but he goes into it. He goes to he doesn't come to school. He doesn't show up to school. He's extremely intelligent, but he doesn't come to school because he's, like I said, working with his father. He's trying to become his own mob boss, to own the own organization to help out the family. Because Offwin's not doing shit. He's just trying to get to his son to have a successor to rule over, to kill all for one. All Might, which he doesn't care about that. He just wants to help out his family. Now, Deku and G Deku or Girl Deku, and also Mizuku, or actually Midoriya, you could say him. Actually, no, Midoriya is the older one beside Deku, and Mizuku pretty much is sitting beside each other, talking to each other. And Deku's saying, "Listen, it's okay. Don't worry. You can find another guy or a girl. Depends if you're switching to girls." Which she said. She starts laughing, saying, "Thanks, brother." Which Deku says, anytime, sister. Now, all the girls are talking about Deku and, whispering, saying, did you heard? I heard, I heard that Deku had sex with the superhero, which, her name, the rabbit girl with the ears. And, they make it whispers and stuff. And this is where you could say a teacher had a crush on Deku. And she's, flustered and saying, no, it can't be true. Deku didn't have sex with any hero. This is where Deku can hear all the whispers and saying, how did they know? Who? This is where the female teacher comes in and pretty much is saying all the hero stuff, knows all the paper stuff, and this is where Bako talks his shit and stuff. You're gonna say his cocky level got back up because, and you could say pretty much Deku. Deku is saying, yeah, of course you're gonna be. I guess you're gonna be the number one hero, which Bakugo is saying, what you say, nerd? Which Deku says, oh, nothing. He says, you know what? After school, meet me outside. Which Deku says, alright, whatever. Now, pretty much everybody is everybody's going after school, and this is where the teacher stops Deku saying, can I talk to you for a second? And this is the teacher who has a crush on Deku, and she's banging, alright? Now, she's pretty much talking to him and pretty much saying, is it true? Did you have some intercourse with a superhero? Well, the superhero, which Deku says, what if it was true? Which she says, and she starts, twiddling her thumbs and says, well, I want you to do the same thing what you did with the superhero. Well, with the, pro hero, you could say. Pro hero. Which Deku says, are you sure? But she says, yeah. Now, like I said, I'm going in every detail, not holding anything back. Deku pretty much, bites her neck, giving her a hickey. Starts taking off her clothes, and she takes off his clothes, and Deku starts fumbling her boobs and stuff, and he pulls down the panties, and he pulls out his pants, and he pretty much puts his penis in the vagina, and he starts penetrating. Now, she starts moaning and stuff, and no one's not in the school, and Bakugo is just waiting outside for it to kick Deku ass, and he pretty much gun nuts in there, and pretty much get her pregnant. Now, Deku pretty much, gets dressed, and she gets dressed, and she says, if anything you want me to do, make sure to call me. She licks her, you could say, licks her lips. And Deku says, yeah, sure. And pretty much, goes out. And this is where Bako says, oh, there you are, nerd. Took you long enough. And this is where, you could say, Mizuku and girl Deku, or Deku's sister, is pretty much there beside him saying, we can help you if you want. Which Deku says, no, I'm fine. Trust me. I'm okay. Or, not beside him, but they're like coming back to trying to see if Deku's going to get beat up or not. To try to, jump in. Now, Deku is pretty much saying, alright, I'm waiting where you are. And this is where all the boys come in and try to jump in. Now, Deku, like I said, knows everything and knows what his ability. He pretty much just hit them with a hand-to-hand combat, like the Bruce Lee. We're going to say he learns Bruce Lee technique, and he pretty much beats the crap out of them, pulling out nunchucks and just, whipping their ass like Bruce Lee. Now, Bakuro is last, and he's about to try to throw an explosion to try to, hit Deku. This is where Deku, changed the nunchucks into 3 long nunchucks, and he pretty much bats him in the face, which Bakuro says, my head, and he pretty much does a kick down to hurt Deku's feet, which Bakugo grabs his leg, says, shit, damn it, and has the rest of the nunchuck and smacks him down to the ground. And he finished him off by doing a tiger, you could say a backflip kick down to the face, and knocks him out. Now, Deku, sister and brother, pretty much solves and says, what? How did you know that stuff? Which Deku says, I just been training myself, and I didn't mean to really hurt him like that, but you know, I'm just tired of him always doing this to us. Which Mizuku says, "You do got a point, brother." Which Deku says, "Yeah," and she kicks Bakugo in the nuts. Which Bakugo grabs his nuts and says, "Ah!" and begins to throw up. Now, they're all heading home. Pretty much all heading home, you could say, and heading under the bridge, taking the shortcut. This is where you could say the sludge villain grabs onto Deku, and Deku looks down at the sludge villain saying, "Huh." Because Deku got no fear in this. Like the Galaxy King, like once you become the Galaxy King, you have no fear. You basically become like Vegeta, a cocky son of a bitch. But instead of like doing the legendary, I'm gonna hold my arm because my arm broke and I got my ass beat because I'm too cocky. No, he doesn't have that. He is the legendary. I'm going to destroy your ass if you dare fuck with me. And he pretty much touched the sludge villain and he freezes it into ice and shattered it into pieces. Which both of them is that made saying, "What? You have an ice quirk?" Which Deku says, "No, I tell y'all the truth later on, but right now, all y'all need to know is just I'm strong. I'm stronger and I'm not weak now, sister and brother." Which they say, okay. Now this is what All Might, says, "I am here." And he said, "Who did this to the sludge villain?" Which pretty much Deku lies and says, "Oh, it was Mizuku." Which All Might All Might is basically saying, and this is gonna be a female All Might. Now, the Galaxy God gave him pretty much another thing. He says, "Oh, and also, it can also count if your brothers and sisters make children too. So, like, if your brothers or sisters like make children or give someone pregnant, that can also count as your making a long bloodline and stuff." And the god just took them up too. So pretty much you could Jigro or Jideku pretty much says, "I'm gonna head off much closer, but it was nice meeting you, female All Might," which All Might is growing this for reasons. And she says bye. And we're gonna say all for one. We're gonna say all for one is a female, which I know what you're saying. But ain't Inko's a girl and all for one is a thing which I'm going to explain to you, alright? Inko is more like you could say the other woman a part of the relationship, which Inko and all for one was in love with each other, and they pretty much, you know, all all for one pretty much, could say she was a kind of a she-male, so just imagine that, and she made the children. Now, let's continue forward because I'm not going into detail. I bet you I would like that, but I'm not going into detail for that one. But pretty much, and no, all for one doesn't have the PP no more. So, too bad, so sad. Now, pretty much, uh, Deku is pretty much saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to go now," and heads with his sister, and they catch up with each other. Now, All Might, she's pretty much saying, "Wow, that's a powerful quirk there." And he's, pretty much saying, "Yeah, I know it is," and stuff. And this is where he grabs her hand, saying, "Do you really think? Do you really think I can become a hero?" And he does the speech because he's like Deku. His quirk is, how can I say? His quirk is like, he doesn't have a specific quirk. He doesn't, like, his quirk is intelligence. Like, so when he grabs All Might hand, she pretty much, you know, you could say, gets flustered and she starts to get wet at the bottom because all of them have it. Like, they can, but they don't know it. Only Deku knows it, and he haven't told his brothers or sister yet. Now, she pretty much hops on Mizuku, and this is the one with the one eye showing and covered up eye and with the hair, and she pretty much rips off his shirt, and she's pretty much doing him right there. And he's thinking and saying, "Wow, I can't believe it. I'm having sex with the number one hero, All Might." Now, she's pretty much, riding him like there's no tomorrow. And she grabs his hands and puts it on her boobs and saying, like, keep, like, squeeze them and stuff. And, they're doing it. And this is where he you could say, busts the nuts, All Might. Now, she pretty much, you could say, transfers the Kirk like that. Now, the Mizuku with the cover eye gets to one for all. And, yeah, it gets to one for all quirk. And he gets up and pretty much gets dressed, and she gets dressed, and she's pretty much, kissing him and saying, "I see you later. I see you later." And he says, "Yeah," pretty much blushing a little bit hard. And he starts to walk, which she says, "Uh, would you like to have my quirk be my successor?" Which, uh, Mizuku asks, "What do you mean?" Which she pretty much says, "Well, I'm looking for a successor. Ever since the fight with One for All, I have been injured, but not like up to a stake. I can still use my quirk 100%, but it's hard with my stamina. You could say I'm getting a little bit rusty." Which Mizuku says, "Yeah, of course." He accepts it, which he already has it, but she feeds him the hair. Now Mizuku comes home all flustered and stuff, which Deku says, "Oh hey brother, what you? It took you long enough. How's you and All Might?" Which he has a flashback of, you could say, him doing All Might, and he's getting a little hard, saying, it was good," holding his pants and running upstairs, saying, I gotta go." Now this is where Deku says, "Did they have sex?" Which this is where Keyshawn up in the galaxy in the seat in the throne pretty much sitting down saying, pretty much telling Deku saying, "Oh yeah, uh, you remember when I said us gods can see everything? Oh yeah, your brother pretty much had sex with All Might, so yeah, he pretty much is a trooper for you. He's the GOAT." Which Deku says, "What? He had sex with All Might?" And she says, "Yeah." Okay. I mean, it was me or him, but alright. I'm glad it was him. He always did have a fantasy of doing her. He did tell me one time. Now, this is where, for these 2 weeks, Deku's sister and Mizuku pretty much go out to the beach and they start training together. And this is where All Might comes in, and she's blushing hard and saying, "I am here," which Mizuku says, "Oh hey All Might." Because she's blushes hard, saying, "Hey Mizuku." And this is where Deku's sister is saying, "Why is they blushing hard for each other?" Which Deku says, "I'll tell you later, sis." Now this is part 1 of What If Deku Was the Galaxy King. If you like, 100 likes, and I will do extra details in all that stuff, alright? I'll go down to the credit, alright? So 100 likes, and I will make another part, alright? You have 6 hours to get this up to 100 likes, okay guys? But I'm Keyshawn Uchia. Thanks for watching, and peace out.